All right, here we go again. Buckle up, rough roads ahead. I'm just on my phone here. So, uh, a lot of the swatting and hoaxes are coming in from overseas. And generally, that uh, could be a spy agency or an entity uh, that is manipulated by a spy agency or a entity that is a pseudo spy agency. Again, there's a variety of things that it could be. Simply, it could be an everyday person that's manipulated to do that or radicalized to do that, as we would say. So, what are they looking for? Well, McCabe said something in, I guess, the CNN article. I don't remember whose it was, but he said, I expect something like that. It's every day. If you're famous, da, da, da. So what is that? How did that come about? It's the same way the deep state came about. Uh, Copycat. So the spy agencies, the foreign spy entities, they'll either do it themselves or have somebody else do it. Whether the people that are doing it may not even know that they're being manipulated. Again, to create a copycat scenario. They're attempting to make that the thing by continually causing it in some way, shape, or form, even if it's them, in the hopes that it will pick up here. Again, they don't like Donald Trump beyond uh, what he can do for them. Again, they're spies, and that's all there is to it. Now, is a spy somebody you can negotiate with? Yeah, of course, because they want something, you want something, maybe it'll coincide. But what they really want is disruption. So these hoaxes and these swatting things will disrupt. And what they want it to be, they want it to be just like everything else that's disrupting in the United States. Just to happen on them. It's like McCabe said, it's an everyday thing. It's just going to happen. Right. So I don't think we have a lot. I don't remember a lot of cases based in the United States. It's just kind of, when they say it's foreign origin, then it kind of goes out there. And I'm surprised McCabe didn't bring that up because I think most of them are foreign origin. And then that anytime it says foreign origin, you have to consider uh, the possibility of spycraft. So if they keep doing it, it's always in the news. Then it gets into people's heads. And of course, there's a will for it to happen. Spycraft is witchcraft, so there's a projection for it to happen. And then at a certain point, it might pick up and become U.S. based. So that's one of the theories I had. If it was foreign, well, there's also the manipulation of causing a disruption and using it like a false flag disruption, and then using it to manipulate uh, the target of the spycraft operation. And that could be just so they draw closer to you. I noticed that somebody, and it could have been Russia, because Russia was working with Trump's people, not with them, but around Trump's people, or I wouldn't even say around, was working for that cause. So the idea might be, and I did see where in some of these operations where they want the person to move closer to the spy entity that's trying to gain access. So they could be manipulating in some of these things. They're manipulating Trump and his people to move closer into Russia and be part of some Russian thing. It looks like that's already happened, but I mean, they could just get paid. I mean, every time Flynn says, and this is what could be happening. Every time Flynn says something about Russia, his stock market goes up or something. It's like he hasn't made an agreement for payment. So, again, that's one of the newfangled things that's going on, and that's why that Trump investigation kicked off so fast because nobody was used to some. Usually, if somebody's involved like that, then there's a corrupt connection. I don't believe General Flynn at that point was a full fledged agent of a foreign nation. I think he deserved a little bit of consideration there. I mean, maybe he was, but it wasn't to the level that you couldn't just slough it off. I think people were just shocked by the election. And again, that's one of the risks of what they're doing. I think this idea where Harris was ahead, it could have been Russians, it could have been anybody, uh, but I don't believe it was the Harris people. So I think, and it could have been, but what it does is it causes the Republicans to come out and vote more so. Right. So I think that's what happened. And I think some of the Democrats didn't come out because they started receiving information that, or a Republican was going to vote Democrat, that Harris was going to, was ahead. So like, I don't, if they have a choice, it's cold out there, I don't want to go out, that kind of thing. So again, that's additional spycraft things. There's a lot of spy work going on. What they do is they get these campaigns and all these Americans to buy into KGBism, and they really did. I mean, a lot of the political stuff they're doing is KGBism, and they make that the only way to win, or try to at least. So well, yeah, the actual hoax calls and the swatting, if it's foreign origin, could be spies just simply putting it out there, trying to see if they can get a copycat thing to start in the United States, and then kind of become an independent. I believe they've done that over the years. I think we've missed some pretty big spies, quite honestly, who helped start the deep state. I don't think there's anything else there at this point until I get more information. But the vibe is that they're going to keep doing it till a bunch of Americans pick it up and do it. And again, they could be Americans. I don't know. May have worked. Might be there already. Copycat is a big thing. We're looking at copycat on these stabbings at this point. Well, that New York, they had the New York stabbing, and that's a weird case. Everybody talks mental illness and all this stuff. People are being tortured by hidden cells of criminals, and they're working for somebody. A lot of billionaires, millionaires out there, including oligarchs, including Putin. And they have ways of paying people without you seeing it. Or you see it and there's nothing you can do about it. Or you see part of it. Again, generally, I believe they teach them some sort of trigger code so they know where to invest and when to invest, or where to look to buy a house, and then somebody lets them have a house real cheap. So the person that's selling it is also in the same system. And if they sell it for a cheaper price to the person they tell them to sell it for, then they get something in their life to replace that and then some. So that's kind of how they're doing it. And it's just like a direction. Like if you get a phone call, like they can make the phone call like a spam call mean anything over time. So like I get a spam call and it's harassment. It's obvious. So somebody else that's a criminal, another person that's on the other side, it's a criminal, will get the spam call after like somebody calls and wants to come look at their house. So you get a spam call, and a spam call is to signify, that's the person you sell it for, and we'll get you something. Right. Well, that's the person you sell it to. Right. That person comes in and asks for 15,000 less than, well, they go home, we'll think about it. Then they give them a low ball bid of 15,000, and as soon as they get the low ball bid, an email comes in or the phone rings, and they know that's the person. They have to take that. They take that bid, but then they get like 30,000, somewhere, or something, some sort of windfall. So I guess that's it for now. Stay peaceful. Praise God.